We're talking Beyonce's Lemonade, Kerry Washington's deal with ABC, and rumors surrounding Prince. All that and more on Black Hollywood Live's This Week.
You are tuned in to Black Hollywood Live This Week.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to Black Hollywood Live This Week. As you can see, we are all in the house today. We're still playing Prince. We are still just feeling the sadness of the loss over a week ago today, actually.
Oh, my God.
So, yes, it's been a week already, which is crazy.
Wow.
And there are so many different things that are being developed in this story that have taken place this week, and hopefully we'll find out the real answers instead of all these rumors very soon. But we'll talk about that story a little bit later in the show. But first up, we're going to introduce our wonderful host today. Courtney Stewart Badu is in the house.
What's up, y'all?
And we have a special guest today because, let's see, Jesse Jandy couldn't make it today. Rachel True couldn't make it today.
The country. Everybody ran away.
Everybody ran away. We scared them off the last couple of weeks. But the person we didn't scare off was actually James Lott Jr., who is one of our hosts for Breaking Into on Black Hollywood Live. He's a very dynamic host. You should check out his show.
Check out his show, y'all.
So say what's up to everybody. James, we're excited to have you.
I ran to you guys.
Yay.
I didn't run from. I ran to you.
Well, thank you. Thank you. We appreciate that we don't like to scare off a lot of people.
That was Whitney.
That was a little.
Oh, Whitney. Oh, God, I said Mariah.
You said Mariah. What is wrong with you?
This is how the show's going to go today.
Right. It's one of those days. It's been one of those weeks.
It's one of those weeks.
You know what? But we're here.
Yes.
We're blessed.
We
and it's
are.
all good. And we got some great topics today.
We do. We have some great topics today.
But first, before we start, I want to tell everybody what the buzzer meter question is today.
Buzzer meter's back.
The buzzer meter is back. We're doing some site corrections, so we're going to be updating the site on some cool stuff. So stay tuned the next couple of weeks. You're going to see some exciting things on BlackHollywoodLive.com. But the Beyonce question for today, or I should say,
the Beyonce question.
Well, it is a Beyonce question.
Yes.
Will you be going to her Formation tour? We've heard a lot about it. Courtney, you had a little insight. Didn't you see a friend? She opened it up last night in Miami.
Miami last night. She opened it up, and it was a fascinating show, apparently.
Wow.
It answers all the questions you have about Lemonade, and it just might be the best show you've ever seen in your life.
Wow.
That was the review
she gives a good show.
Good friend gave me, and I believe her. So we'll see.
All right. Well, she doesn't disappoint. So
Not
speaking of
usually.
Beyonce.
Speaking of Beyonce, that's our topic on the top is Lemonade, y'all. Lemonade broke free on Saturday night on HBO. I was real stressed out on my bed because my HBO now was not streaming. I could not log in. I didn't know what was going on. Friends was tweeting and texting me like, "Are you watching this?" It's like, I was like, I can't see anything. Sorry, that was my stress level on Saturday evening, and I had enjoyed a nice day of cocktails, so it was that much worse.
Hey, that's a perfect evening.
But I finally got a hold of it, and then I checked it out, and I was moved, among other things. But so it debuted on HBO. It was great in a lot of ways, and apparently there's some criticisms from others. Mm-hmm. But I don't even know. I mean, there's been so much talk around it.
Mm-hmm.
It's too much to say. She had cameos by Serena Williams, Zendaya, Keven Wallace was in it. Her baby Blue Ivy was in it. She talked about Becky's, and now we got Rachel Roy, Rita Ora, Maya, and everybody else's cousin wondering if they was Becky.
Iggy Azalea
Decided to resurface and chime in about some ish she don't know nothing about. Piers Morgan decided that Beyonce is somebody else entirely than he met in 2011 in God, and then another white man named Matt McGorry came after Piers Morgan after Beyonce. It's literally been insane. The amount of press and talk this Lemonade has gotten has been absolutely nuts. Crazy. And as we said at the top of the show, she opened the Formation tour last night in Miami. People's posting videos of her stomping around in water. I got somebody told me that she pulls a Kerry moment in the show, so I don't really know what that means other than the blood. So I'm not sure what she communicates with that. But yeah, so it was an hour video. If y'all haven't bought it, it's $17.99, and I am a Beyonce fan. I do not consider myself Beehive because I'm not crazy, so I don't be like swarming around online like, don't you say nothing about Beyonce, but I am. I enjoy her material.
I know, I love it.
But, I mean, $17.99 is steep, but you do get the full album and you get the entire hour video.
Okay, yeah.
A movie. It was a movie. It was a movie. And to me, I thought it was beautifully shot. But it is potentially up for an Emmy Award. They're thinking about submitting it for Emmys, and of course the ratings were off the roof. So there you go, y'all. Lemonade all over the place. What y'all think?
Well, I'm gonna start with the positive because I know
go ahead.
James has got some things that he disagrees with the entire video, music, film that was on HBO. I thought it was dynamic. I thought it was visually beautiful. You were naming all the guests that were in that did like the guest appearances. I didn't remember nobody past Serena because she was in that
Derrial was
bodysuit.
stuck on thighs.
I don't even remember anybody
It was
else
like, my face is
besides
just in the
Serena.
thighs.
Yeah, I don't.
Like,
and when she did the
I don't
little
know where to
drop,
go.
and Beyonce was sitting in the chair, and Serena did the little drop. I'm
was
doing the
just
drop right now in my chair.
Booty and thighs.
I mean,
booty and thighs.
visually, I thought it was magnificent. And you know what I will always give her, she always knows how to step it up one more step after what she previously did. And she had that HBO special from the last album.
What, On the Run thing?
On the Run thing, and it was like the really cool video that she did with that too. So I feel like she always just manages to take it up another notch. And if this, yes, I have my things about this being a full publicity stunt with everything that's going on. I mean, they're saying that now she's not wearing her wedding ring. Jay-Z's not wearing his wedding ring, and there's rumors she's getting her tattoo removed, and all these different things, and all this stuff that's even in the press with who Becky is and who's Becky not, and all that stuff. Yes, conveniently, it makes sense. Right now, you just dropped an album. Of course, all this stuff's going to be in the press. But on the flip side of that, I understand that. If I was selling albums, I'd want all this stuff in the press, too.
Yeah.
So to me, keep doing what you're doing, Beyonce, because you're going to sell out the tour, you're going to keep making money, and you're going to keep entertaining us, and you're going to still keep looking good. And please keep keeping Serena Williams in your video. That's all I got to say. And I'm off my soapbox now. I'm off my soapbox. That's all I'm saying. I'm off my soapbox now. Now, Mr. James, what you got to say? James Lott Jr.
That's right, kids. No, okay, I think it must be maybe an age difference because I'm a little older than you guys by a few years.
Age is just a number, James.
No, but sometimes it comes to music and entertainment. There are things that I don't really get that people who are younger than me, they totally get into. Now, mind you, I'm a Beyonce fan. I want to say that. I'm not a Beehiver either or like that. I have all of her albums. I am a big fan of hers. I love Formation. When that came out, I played it 20 times a day. I love that video. I was glad that she was black again, so I loved it so much. And all that. But this video, I didn't like the song, first of all. I don't care for the song. So I just didn't. I think it's visually done. But here's the thing: she gives great video. She
gives great video.
She always does.
She does.
She hires the best people, best choreographers, or at least the same choreographer she's had for a long time.
Yeah, she does. She stays consistent. I like that.
No, that's the thing. And there's a lot of things you just said about that. It's like, I agree with it. She does. She gives good video. I want to see the concert. She gives good tour. She gives good everything. Her voice sounds fine. I just don't care for the song.
But there's
so many. You don't have to like one. You can like
layers and it literally gave us a full story. And for everybody, that's the one thing that's bothering me about the press coverage of it is like the obsession with the Jay-Z cheated and who was it?
Right.
But that to me, that was not the takeaway at all from that hour worth of a movie. Like the takeaway from it all is she been through something because she was swinging a bat. She was yelling and cussing and she had underboobs.
She was upset.
Flopping around, throwing. She got hard.
Yeah.
But there was an entire. I'm sorry, I'm being funny, but you know.
No, I feel you.
But there was also an embracing of her lineage, the lineage of black women, and the community of black women, and the power and strength, and all of the layers of what all that means when you are going through stuff, and the beauty of all of it.
Yeah.
It's set against the backdrop of different areas of this country and the ideas around. Like I think she played a lot with the imagery and didn't keep it simple. And I feel like literally, I promise y'all, I've probably watched the movie probably about 9 or 10 times
really?
Right now.
Okay.
But every time I watch it, because I see something else different every time, and I don't totally know. I still don't feel like I literally told a friend the other day, like I feel like I need to be like writing a thesis about like what happened in this video.
Maybe you should. Maybe
because there's so much and there's so many images, and I'm like, I know I don't want to just like leave it like it's just a video. There's something.
You should have went against Pierce. Morgan.
We ain't even gonna I was gonna say all the stuff that Pierce said, and then Matt McGorry. I'm just gonna say, Matt McGorry, you deserve a beautiful kiss on the face because I praise you for standing up for black women.
Well, he's great. Well, he's great because he's on How to Get Away with Murder, and he also was on Orange is the New Black. So he knows people of color.
But he articulated his response. Y'all can look that up online. He responded to Pierce Morgan quite perfectly, and I couldn't have said it better myself. So I appreciated that. But anyway, the point is just that it was layered and multi-layered, and I feel like there's so much more in it that will continue to reveal itself.
Well, I found something interesting. CNN put out an article the other day that basically said that Beyonce was the new political activist of our generation, because we obviously came off of Super Bowl, where she came with the formation, the Black Panthers, Black Lives Matter, and then now with this video, this long format video, and what she's doing in her tour, they're saying that she's kind of like representing right now for us in the new generation of being the political person.
So do you think she's authentic? That's my big question.
I think she is.
You think it's not just marketing, and you think it's authentic? It's authentic.
I think it's very much marketing, but I do think it's honest to it.
Yeah.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
Like, I think because I think that she has revealed herself more as it's come along, because I feel like she started out because she used to talk about her dad. We were like, we were the Supremes. Like, we're supposed to keep our thoughts and what we are. We are an image, and I feel like she's peeling away that image a bit. It's obviously still controlled, and I'm not foolish to think that like it's all like out there, but I think having a child changes you. And having your business in the street after the elevator fight changes you. And, she's still controlling how you're going to learn, because that's why everybody still has questions. Like, well, wait, did he actually cheat on you? Like, are y'all together still? Like, whatever. So she's still controlling that portion of it. But I still think that, Mike Brown's death meant something to her. Like, I wouldn't call her, like, the political activist of our generation.
I don't want that either.
But I do think that she has taken a step to use her platform to sort of make us talk about some things.
Well, and I hear what you're saying, but on the flip side, music often allows that platform to be had. I mean, we look at, we can go from Prince to James Brown back in the day, Michael Jackson even to an extent with certain things. I mean, hell, we can even go to the Beatles if we really want to, talk about certain things with politics. So I feel like she is trying to do that. And I mean, she's a pop singer, pop star, R&B star, but she had to do that stuff during the time to sell records, to get to the place where now she can speak more freely about what she represents and what she really wants the messaging to be.
Yeah, and I think now she has a formed opinion in a way that maybe she didn't have before. She's 35. We met her at 16.
Right.
That's true.
Yeah.
No, I just think for me, the larger conversation for me is that her marketing part. I think she's doing it really well. I mean, dropping an album last time with no notice. It's succeeding. These videos, the formation thing coming out first, it was kind of like, oh, there it is. And there's like nothing else with it, just that. And this whole thing you just mentioned earlier, with all this stuff surrounding all this swirling and on Twitter and on this, and it's smart. I mean, for her, like you said, tour's going to sell out. People are going to be talking about this for a long time. She's so smart in this. I've always said she's a smart person because she has smart people around her.
Yeah.
She's surrounded by a lot of smart people, because every time she comes out, every album's an event.
Yeah.
And rarely you get that in music these days.
Exactly.
It's very true.
There are very people out that today, well, you mentioned Prince. I remember, as a teenager, and when the video for Purple Rain or what comes out, or Let's Go Crazy, you sat around the TV, and I feel old, at MTV to see the video.
Right.
My Thriller came out. You sat in front of the TV, and I had my beta tape, and I was taping that video.
Wow,
like,
you said beta
I said
tape.
beta, kids. That big giant machine loaded from the top. But everybody stopped everything to watch it, and it was talked about by everybody. Yeah. Beyonce still does that. I'll give her points on that.
She does, because I'm pretty sure the last time that happened was like when Britney came back from being crazy.
Yeah.
And she dropped I forget the name of the video, but it's where she has the multiple personalities and the guy was cheating. But like that was, I think, probably 2008.
Oh, it was Womanizer. Yeah, Womanizer. Yeah,
that's what it was. But that was the last time I can literally remember. We were like, oh my God, Britney's about to drop a video. And we were, because I had a friend that was in the hospital having a baby. So we were all watching Britney drop this video in 2008. So I feel like you're right. Beyonce can still give us that energy by telling us formation.
And she's a singer, dancer.
Lemonade.
She's a performer. She really does give it to you.
She gives it her all.
I just question her authenticity. That's all I question.
Is that because she's been so polished for so long?
Not just polished, but I mean,
like a figurine, basically.
Kind of just. I just feel like I don't know. I don't just get that. I mean, some artists I really get their authentic. I get it, whether they're being it or not. I get it. Mm-hmm. Like with her, I'm just not sure. I don't know. But she's a marketing genius.
She's a marketing genius, and and don't get it twisted, because Matthew Knowles said not all of it's true, because he said he never hit Beyonce. Of course.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. Everybody's like, oh my God, each word means exactly what it says. I mean, it's still art and entertainment that has to be elevated to a certain level. So anyway, speaking of art and entertainment, guys, we had another entertainer drop of image in the last few days that had the world going wild, guys. Lil Kim, she's a white lady now, and
she's Swedish.
Everybody went nuts. Yeah. So she posted a pic on Instagram where she was basically white, and she had a narrow little MJ looking nose and blonde hair, and everybody was like, oh my God, what happened to your face?
I was shocked.
Everybody was shocked. Like, and there's been all like, and this is another like media storm. Like, there's been so many blogs and essays written about her self-hatred and what is wrong and why she's white lady now. And everybody's throwing back to a 2000 interview that she did for Newsweek where she said, quote, "All my life, men have told me I wasn't pretty enough, even the men I was dating. It's always been men putting me down, just like my dad. To this day, when someone says I'm cute, I can't see it, and I don't see it no matter what anybody says." So, you know, everybody was like, yo, Kim, because she was Asian for a little while. We were talking
She
about
was Asian Kim, yeah.
She went Asian.
Only in America can you go from a black woman to become an Asian woman to become a Swedish woman.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
All in the span of a couple years.
Yeah.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
the speculation is that she's been bleaching her skin and obviously had some plastic surgery. And people are upset. Some people are like, why y'all making a big deal? You know, if she want to be white, let her be white. Rachel Dolezal wanted to be black. She did it.
Yeah, I mean,
So,
hey,
there
if she
you
got
go.
the money to pay for it, I guess.
You know,
It's sad. It's a
sad.
larger
It is sad.
conversation, as you were just saying about the other thing. It's a larger conversation about color and race and how we look at that.
yes.
True.
And how we are, because all three of us are different shades and up in here. And it's like, I feel bad for people who feel bad about their coloring.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's like, it's what you're born with, it's what you are. You know, it's a shame that I love my skin color.
Yes.
I have no problem with it. I wouldn't mind being darker. I love it.
No.
But I don't. And I've had people tell me, "Oh my God, you should don't go in the sun or don't do this kind of stuff." And
Yeah.
I come from a Creole family, which has a lot of color issues in it.
Color, mad color
brown paper
issues.
bag stuff. I know all that stuff. And I have family members who are super light skinned, who look white, and members who are super dark. And I just think it's a larger conversation about how we view our blackness,
Yes.
ourselves.
I feel like that also, like, that just echoes what something I thought was the most powerful about Beyonce's stuff is that we're talking about this when she inserted the Malcolm X
Oh, yeah, that was.
speech in there about black women being basically the bottom and have always been the most disrespected, etc. in this country. I feel like that literally Lil Kim's picture like pops up the next day and you're just like, dude, like it sucks because it hits black women very hard. Colorism obviously exists for any person
Everybody,
of color,
yeah.
but black women, especially in America, like
It's tougher.
horrible, scary.
I've been saying that for a long time.
Terrible.
The whitening of brown America and the people, Halle Berry wasn't as light as she was now.
No, she wasn't, y'all.
Okay,
and
kids.
she didn't have them titties.
Well, that part I do too.
Well,
but the color part.
I was just gonna say her nose.
Look at strictly
Well, that too.
business.
Look
her
at
face, all of it.
exactly,
Look at Strictly
exactly.
Business. It's a
And
different
also
lady.
look at as her. I also I mentioned even Beyonce for a while. There was getting a little lighter for a while. I mean, it's like it's this whole conversation of like, okay, well now you're getting more fame, so you gotta get a little lighter. And I mean, I don't mind the hair and the hair color and all that. I don't mind that. It's the skin thing that bugs me.
I mean, the skin thing is serious. Here's the thing. It's tough because we definitely can sit and criticize all this, but it goes like I'll say with Lil Kim. If you've been told if you have a strong feeling that you were unattractive and you've been told that and you believe that, that's some tough
By people
stuff.
that look
By people
like
that
you.
look like you.
Yes.
You
And
know,
they're
I mean,
supposed to be your blood, like
And listen, we had the moment in the late '80s and the '90s where the light-skinned guys and girls, the Albie Shores and Christopher Williams, they were the cats. Michael Jordan hadn't really popped it yet, or Wesley hadn't popped it yet. So it's unfortunate that this is still going on, but I agree. I heard it as a kid
anything
too.
ever really popped
You
for
heard it.
I heard it as a kid too. My family's Haitian. They used to tell me to marry a light skinned girl. My grandmother once told me she was glad I didn't have big lips. I mean, and I know they didn't mean anything.
Right, I know.
To psychologically mess me up, but I mean, those things.
informs how you
it
behave
does. I can't
forward
lie
in
and say
life.
that it didn't affect me. And so I feel for Kim, but if that's what she wants to do. I know she has a daughter, so I would be interested to know how she
Scary.
raises her daughter. And then I was joking about this earlier, but I said, if you go to Kim's house, are there any old Lil Kim pictures in her house from when she was 16 and brown skin
Probably
and
not.
had short hair and was Junior Mafia Kim? Because that's not the same. If you put these women
I
and they
know.
walked in
Right.
together, I wouldn't even know that they were even
No.
remotely the same
here.
person.
Same here. They don't look
There's
the same at all.
nothing.
Yeah.
So my question is, how are you raising your daughter? What are you telling her, as she grows up and probably will deal with certain issues as well? I mean, yes, the new generations, millennials and kids growing up is going to be different, but we don't know how different that's going to be.
But it's not that different if you still carry around that self-hate, because that's why
Right.
it exists
Self-hate
in her,
is real.
because the people that
Yeah.
were raising her had their own self-hate that they passed on to her.
Absolutely.
So I think it's really sad, and I wish her the best of luck.
Best of luck, and hopefully next time we will not see you
Your
become
weed was right, but I was like,
We was right, yeah. But where can she go now? It's like, okay, she's been Asian, she's been Swedish, she's been black. What is she going to be
And then some of it
next?
was makeup, because they had a whole thing that it was makeup that helped, whatever. But in the end, that doesn't make it. You know, I'm coming as a white lady next week. I think that'll be fun.
You should do it.
We'll see how it goes.
Yeah,
we'll see what it's like to be a white lady.
Let's see what happens.
There's nothing racist about whiteface.
No,
You could be a Becky.
I'm gonna be a Becky.
Be a Becky.
I'm gonna get me some blonde hair.
Yeah.
All right. Speaking of Beckys, there's a whole lot of Beckys in the American Family Association. Okay, so Target basically announced this week that they made an inclusivity decision. And it basically means that it will allow a man to say that, you know, men, women, whatever you identify as in terms of gender, that is the bathroom and changing room you may use in Target stores. And they believe in inclusivity for their employees and for all of their shoppers, and that's why they did it. Well, the American Family Association, which is a Christian nonprofit organization based in Mississippi, strike one. Sorry.
Strike 35.
I'm not being objective. This ain't no news show, y'all, so I ain't trying to be
This ain't
objective.
CNN.
So it's just
We ain't Don Lemon or whatever.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's right.
I mean, if Fox can do it, damn it, I can.
You do,
okay,
girl.
so
Listen to Donald Trump every day.
I find it entertaining. They have been deemed an extremist group by the Southern Poverty Law Center. But basically, they have put out a petition online that supposedly has over 900,000 people having signed it to boycott Target after this announcement has been made. Basically, they're concerned that because they feel like, quote, they're on the front lines of the American culture war, because it's a war.
Right.
And they said, quote, we decided that there's probably a lot of people who wanted to take a stand before Target's decision started a trend. We found out we were right. They argue basically that any man could say that he feels like a woman today and enter the women's restroom, even if young girls and women are already in there. Men allegedly cross-dress to view / sexually assault women in changing areas or restrooms, so that seems to be their primary concern. That's why they don't think it's okay that, you know, trans people should be using anybody else's bathroom because they're scared. We had the Transgender Legal Center executive director, her name's Chris Hayashi, basically pointed out that there's laws already in place to protect people in bathrooms and changing rooms, and if somebody dresses up as some other gender and goes to attack a male, female, whatever in a bathroom, there are still laws. That's illegal, and they will be prosecuted. That, you know, decision on Target's behalf doesn't change that. If you check out thinkprogress.org, they actually said that they don't believe the 900,000 signatures because there's no way to verify it because the organization isn't posting the actual name of who signed it. It's completely anonymous, and they went on there and said that they signed on the same browser like 3 or 4 different times with like made up names and stuff like that. So they don't think it's actually accurate, even though that's like what the press is kind of running with and what the organization is running with. And Target spokesperson Molly Snyder basically said, we certainly respect that there are a wide variety of perspectives and opinions. As a company that firmly stands behind what it means to offer our team an inclusive place to work and our guests an inclusive place to shop, we continue to believe that this is the right thing to do for Target. Wow. So there you go.
As a person, I have no problem saying this, a person who's been discriminated against for being both black and being gay at different times in my life, I just think it's the final frontier of being transgender. It's something that people just don't know.
Right, they're still scared.
Just like gay people and just like black people back in the day. It's like people are just uneducated, just don't know what it means fully, so there is fear. And so I think it's a right to have some fear, and you're kind of nervous about, okay, what does this mean? What is transgender? What does it mean? I mean, some people just don't know what that is.
Yeah.
Right.
They need to be told what that really means and what it means for a person who transitions into a woman and has women parts to go into a bathroom for women. I'm not talking about some dude walking in and like, oh, I'm walking. It's a whole different story. It's like, if you think about it that way, you may go, oh, okay, it makes sense. Or a woman who transitions to a man and goes to a male bathroom.
Right.
Yeah.
Who looks like, sometimes some folks out there, you may not know who's transgender.
Yes, that is
Right.
true.
Some folks, they look completely like you would never even know.
But then the question is, then how do you really, legally, how do you really know?
Right.
Regardless, you know what I mean? You're not pulling down people's pants before they go to the restroom when you're in Target.
That's why I'm so confused that it's such a big deal. Like, granted, I understand there's a fear of unknown and that kind of thing, but like when I go to the bathroom, I'm in it'd be one thing if it was just like toilets in a line, but you have stalls.
Yes,
you have a closed door.
Yes,
like,
exactly.
and the fear that someone could come in and try to watch you and rape you, like that exists whether transgender people are in there or not.
Right. Right.
So for me, because I really tried hard to like understand, like I'm like, okay, let me think and be objective. Like, how could this really be such a big deal? I still was at a loss because if this means I can go use the man's bathroom with no big deal, I'm going to the man's bathroom because a lot of times there ain't no line.
Listen,
so
I've been to plenty of clubs. Right, I was gonna say where the women are like, excuse me, can I go in there with you?
Yeah. Oh, I don't like the urinals because they're smelly. But if there's a stall, I will use the men's bathroom.
I've seen it. And
Me too.
I just can't. I just feel like it's reaching.
People
it's
just
like
have fear.
When people were like, we're afraid to let black people in our schools because all the black boys are going to rape our daughters. Like it's to me, it's fear, but it's unfounded.
Well, I was bused as a kid. So the first 3 years of my elementary school back in the early 70s, and I remember we were bused out to Sherman Oaks from Inglewood, which is a place here in LA, and from South Central LA to the Valley. And we first got there, all black kids stayed together out in the Valley. Like we didn't mix.
Yeah.
It still was like because the white kids were a little nervous.
Yeah.
The funny part is I was bused in the early 90s in Georgia. Shit don't change.
There was busing in the 90s.
They were busing in the 90s in Georgia. Don't play. Like, they open a magnet school on the black side of town and bust the white kids to come visit us.
Wow.
And that's real life, y'all. This ish is not
Okay.
old. It still happened for years and years and years. So.
I just learned something new. I did not know
Yeah, I
that.
didn't.
Anyway.
But I get.
They called it M to M, minority to majority.
Oh, how interesting! I never know that. So wow.
Yeah.
I like to learn stuff. I just think again, I'll give it to people who are having a little bit of fear, but yeah, they need to get over it. They need to just get over the fear part and learn a little more about what that means and what really transgenderism means. And like you said, you can get raped and killed in the bathroom already.
At this point. That's the
And if
truth.
somebody peeking under your door, kick them and move on.
Yeah.
Right,
Like,
exactly.
Punch 'em in the face.
Get out.
Exactly.
Get out.
So,
Good
All
luck.
right.
good for Target.
Good for Target.
I like Target, so good for them.
I shop there a lot.
And listen, I got to go tonight when we leave, so I'm glad that this is okay.
I was there.
I'm glad this situation's okay because I would have had to not go to Target tonight.
Whatever bathroom you need.
I just want to say something really quick. I just for me, these topics are really interesting because today is my grandson's birthday. Hi, Zayden. Today's his birthday.
Happy birthday, Zayden.
And he's a teenager, and I just hope that these things are just a thing of the past by the time he becomes an adult in a few years, or at least it's like the conversation isn't as heavy because it's a shame we have color issues and transgender. It's like I don't want him to grow up in a world like that.
I know, but the unfortunate thing is it's 2016 and we're still having racial tension and we're talking about killing black kids being shot. So
I can hope.
That's wishful thinking. I don't mean to be Debbie Downer. I hope that's the case.
I'm definitely Debbie Downer.
So, all right. Well, unfortunately, we have to move on from that topic. Not America. All right. We're going to move on to the ER Web Story Spotlight of the Week. But before we do that, I want to talk about fantasy golf.
Yes.
Because have you played fantasy golf, James?
Not yet. Tell me about it.
Well, it's very easy. All you need to do is go to DraftKings.com. We have a special code, GEEK, and you can get your fantasy golf on because we've played fantasy football here. We've had basketball. We've had a variation. Now we're on the golf, and it's pretty simple. Lots of prizes. It's actually, I say it's very easy. I am trying to learn golf, so this is a good step for me to learn golf. And it's very, very, very simple to play. You know, you can go on, log in whenever you need to, whenever you got time. DraftKings.com, code word GEEK. All right, now we're going to move on to ER Web Story Spotlight of the Week. With no music. That's okay. All right, so this story actually has really intrigued me. So there's a young man, or should I say an old man.
This is comedy.
This is comedy, actually. His name is Jonathan Nicola. He is a 6'9", 11th grader, but he was recently arrested. And James, can you guess why he was arrested?
Because he was 30 years old.
Bing, bing, bing! You got the winning prize.
I was like, wait a minute.
My man is 30 years old. It just came out.
He hit his head.
Let me remix
19
this.
19 years of memory loss.
Yeah. Let me remix this one more time. He is 6'9", plays 11th grade basketball, a star basketball player in Canada, and he has been going on as an 11th grader. And a 17-year-old, and he is 30 years old, y'all. 30 years old. In his defense.
There's a defense?
Yes, his defense is he said he talked to his mother and he asked her, he said through the years, he has continuously asked her how old he was. And she told him 17? She don't know.
Oh.
She doesn't know. She doesn't remember his age. And he said he didn't, he never got the right answer. So no fault of his.
So he just took a guess and
I'm
registered
22.
for school.
I'm going to pick an age.
I'm going to go for 24, actually.
Yeah, okay, I'm going
to go back to like 18,
there
19.
You go.
You wouldn't do that. You couldn't drink then.
Oh, yeah, never mind. 21.
Yeah.
21.5. All right, well, this was his statement. My mother is currently suffering from diabetes back in South Sudan, and she never told me my real age. I always kept asking her what the specific age was that I was born, and she told me that she couldn't remember.
Okay, but you remember you went through puberty. Like,
That's what I'm saying. All right, here's my thing.
A good 20 years
What
ago?
about the first, 12 years of life? Like 5, 6, 7,
What you
8.
been doing? Like, you was living in a rock. You didn't know time was passing.
That's what I'm saying.
Like,
That's why that
what?
story is real
Lies
shady.
you tell. That's
Yeah,
why you in jail.
that's-
Those the kind of people you don't want in your bathroom.
Oh,
at
thank you.
Target.
Hello, thank you.
He's confused.
Now he's confused. Now he was detained and arrested under violation of the Immigration Refugee Protection Act. The Canada Homestay, a group that finds homes for foreign students, arranged for Nicola to live in Pete. I'm gonna mess up his last name, maybe Kasumano, who is the head of a basketball team at the Catholic Central School that apparently he was playing for, and he was the coach was under the impression he was 17 as well, just extremely tall. And I'm sure he probably looked at him like, cha-ching, I'm gonna put this kid in my house,
Oh, I'm sure,
and
I'm
when he
sure.
makes the NBA,
Yeah.
we gonna make this poppin'. But no one knew. He's probably obviously gonna get his visa revoked
I
and
feel kind of
terminated.
bad though because he was an immigrant.
He remains in
and
custody.
He just wanted to play
He
basketball.
just wanted to play basketball and get out of the Sudan.
That's it.
I mean, well, that's
Points for that.
here's the
That's
thing
the
with that.
sad.
They are some, that's kind of another part of his defense that he's saying that his the things that were going on in his homeland were
Yeah,
very
Sudan ain't no
problematic,
joke right now.
and,
No, no joke, no.
basically he needed to get out the way he needed to get out. So whatever that
But keep
format
it real,
was.
brother.
You're right.
But here's the thing: when they say black don't crack, it clearly
Okay,
doesn't.
okay.
30 years old, and he passed for a 17-year-old.
I think they saw 6'9" in
They
basketball.
didn't care. That's the thing. They
Now,
didn't
He saw
care.
basketball.
He
They
saw
didn't do their
basketball.
due diligence.
No, they
were
didn't.
just like, he'll be great
He'll be
for
great.
the team.
He'll win.
Now, my only problem with that is that luckily there's no stories of him messing around with a girl or
I
any
know.
underage girls or anything like that.
Not yet.
So at least not yet.
But if how long he been there? He been there for a minute.
Yeah, he been there for
I
a
know
minute.
He had a girlfriend.
I mean, I was like, I hope he was dating a college girl or
big old
something.
African. Like he was dating a girl.
You know he would.
Or no, you don't.
love
He
it.
could have
No,
been dating
yeah.
a boy. I don't know.
Yeah, he could have been dating a boy. He
Right.
could- Well, anybody he's dating as long as they weren't underage. That's the only thing I care about. So that story is still
brother.
developing. So keep your eye on that
I feel
because
sorry. What's
I
his
want to
name
have
again?
his name. And let me repeat his name.
They
His
gonna
name.
send him right
I want to have
back.
him on Black Hollywood Live, Mr. Jonathan Nicola from
on the show.
South Sudan,
Come on the
who's
show.
6'9" and 30 years
Let's
old,
talk.
passing for a 17-year-old.
Talk about breaking into, all right.
Yeah.
Talk about
That's breaking into a different breaking into. All right, speaking of breaking
That has a lot
into,
of connotations. I'm not participating.
speaking of breaking into a new deal, is Kerry Washington.
Yes.
She is doing her thing. Miss Scandal is continuing to build her business and her empire. I don't know if you guys saw her recent special that was called Confirmation on HBO,
Anita Hill.
which was her as Anita Hill, which was obviously everybody knows Anita Hill from the '90s, who had the the situation
Sexual
with Clarence
harassment,
Thomas.
Clarence.
Yes.
Well,
Spank that girl.
that particular episode or that movie on HBO was part of Kerry's company that she built, her production company. She has a 2-year deal now that she just signed with ABC.
Good.
It's called Simpson Street Productions.
Okay.
They are going to develop broadcast, cable, and digital projects exclusively for ABC Studios and ABC Signature, which is their digital division of ABC. It's a really big deal for her. She's also got renewed for season 6 of Scandal, and this is what Kerry had to say recently about why she wanted to create new content and new production companies. I believe strongly in the importance of having a seat at the table, which makes starting this production company thrilling for me. It's an honor to be at a point in my career when I can help generate projects that are exciting, necessary, and truly reflect the world around us. You know what? You go with your bad self,
proud of
Kerry.
her.
Hire
proud.
me.
You're killing it. You're killing it.
I'm proud of her
Go
because
on.
I think it's great that one black woman helped another black woman kind of rise in the ranks, and now she's starting something. I love it. I love this
Bring
story.
them up together.
Thank you. The village.
It's the tree and lemonade.
So,
It's
well,
the tree.
Well, what's amazing about this too, I feel like, we've been talking about this on the show with, even we just came off the Oscars so way. We've been talking about television and the lack of a certain amount of actors and whatever, what have you. This changes the game. It's not going to be an overnight thing, but in the next few years with, Ava DuVernay, she has her production company. We have Kerry's doing this. We have other people who are developing. And, 10 years ago, 5 years ago even, everyone was saying, people need to develop their own projects. That's the only way things are going to change. And now we're really starting to see that.
Yes.
We're seeing it, and we're seeing it matched up with the big wigs, like the studios and stuff
They
like that.
get. It's
so
like
that
I feel
they
like
have,
Hollywood is starting to really get it, or they're seeing that there's a market and it's making money, so let's go and get that money to them.
Well, the green is always number one in Hollywood.
Green is number one, and I ain't mad at that.
That's
so
America,
let's
y'all.
ride out our wave right now while we got it. Hopefully, it's not just a wave. Hopefully, it's just a
Yes.
full ocean. But
Hopefully it
I
falls
agree.
on
I like
wing.
that. I
You know,
agree.
swim
it's a
in
full
some
ocean.
green.
All right, last story of the day. say, I am still dealing with this. Honestly, I had my tears last Thursday. Courtney knows I was a wreck last week with Prince, the untimely death of Prince, which everything is still being kind of researched, and they're trying to find out what happened to him. There's so many speculations going around right now, about painkillers and cocaine and whatever, diseases, whatever. You know what? Until it all comes out, let's just, I know we all work in media, but let's just let it all come out and what the truth really is. But one thing that is true, that is unfortunate, that we just found out in the news, is that he didn't have a living will, which is baffling to me, because they are saying that he is worth $350 million. So his sister Tika they're saying right now, allegedly, nothing is confirmed yet, but they're saying that she will probably be the person who gets the full-blooded sister who will probably get the chunk of the money. And now he has a couple of half brothers and sisters that they say are surfacing here and there. But no one knows really what's going to happen. And they also were saying that the fact that the reasoning behind this, because I was talking to my sister about this, because my sister's a lawyer. She's like, he clearly did not have the right representation surrounding him if he does not have a will. And I was agreeing with her until I read a report in TMZ, and they were saying that actually his legal counsel has been trying to get him to sign a will for the last 5 years. But when Prince was younger, in his early part of his career, he felt that he signed a couple contracts, and that probably goes back to Warner Brothers as well, that he just doesn't feel comfortable or didn't feel comfortable with signing contracts, and that devastated him away, scared him away from signing any new contracts. It's so sad,
because he literally could have written anything at his house himself and handed it to his lawyer. Exactly. Like, this is my will.
Yes. Yeah. But he was more. I think that it goes back into the whole mystique of Prince. Prince was not about the money. At some level.
Well, I also hear that he also was not the best with money either.
Right. He was an artist. He was a temperamental artist who was all about the art, finding his truth in his art, fighting for other artists. I mean, he was all about the music. That was his thing, and the art of it all. And of course, he was Jehovah's Witness, of course, and all that. So I mean, it wasn't so much about the money itself. So I think it's surprising, because I was shocked too. But then in a way, I'm like, well, maybe not so surprising.
Yeah.
I just don't want it to get his legacy to be exploited by all the cousins out of the woodwork.
That's what I'm saying.
That's why it's so.
Well, but then the unfortunate thing is, well, I shouldn't say unfortunate, because I don't know the personal relationship he had with his sister, but what I've read is that they just have recently rekindled their relationship. It had been strained for a while, but the money has to go somewhere. I'd rather go to family than to go to the record company. You know what I'm saying? So my thing is hey, give it to some of the old band members that maybe allegedly back in the day that he kind of shifted out of money or whatever it may be.
Performing arts schools.
Or performing arts schools, all that stuff. Yeah, absolutely, that'd be great. So there's going to be more developments with that, especially as they release the autopsy in the next couple weeks, because we've also been hearing about the the painkillers, the Percocet, that is one of the things, and the opioids. That we've been hearing a lot of things about him possibly being addicted to those things after having his hip replacement.
Well, I mean, he's an entertainer for 100 years, and I'm sure he had some bone problems and hip problems. I'm sure he did.
I'm sure. I just, it's all unfortunate. It's all sudden, and I just, to let the man rest in peace. But I guess we'll find out the truth very soon. One interesting fact before we do go, that I saw was that according to Nielsen Music, he has a 42,000% increase in digital and physical sales 3 days after his death, and they were comparing it to Michael Jackson. So they were saying that Michael Jackson actually, when he died, his estate was bankrupt, pretty much. They said now it's worth $1 billion. So they're saying Prince is his estate is destined to quadruple that. So it's crazy. It's just crazy.
He has. I just read today. He has 20 of the 25 top R&B digital singles. He has number 1, number 2 position on Hot Billboard 200. I mean, he's just. I mean, his music's just.
It's exploding. Man.
Prince, I'm your long lost cousin, sister.
Listen,
I'm still devastated. I was devastated all last week.
I mean, I got my days. I got my moments and days. But I'm sure a lot of fans out there are feeling the same thing. You just see the love. I mean, there's so many people have just come out of the woodworks and just are talking about him. How much love. Just what I love about him too is all different races, just cultures. It didn't matter.
And that was
about his music.
That was his plan.
Across the world. That was his plan, and he succeeded. All right. Unfortunately, we have to go.
Yes.
This was fun.
This was fun. An amazing show with you guys. It was fast. A lot of topics. But James, where can fans find you?
They can find me on all social media platforms at James Lott Jr. That's James Lott Jr., not Senior.
All right, Courtney.
You can find me everywhere at Stewart Starlet.
And you can find me at Derrial Christon on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. And remember to go to the buzzer meter question. We talked about Beyonce.
Are
Will you be
gonna
going
see
to her
the
tour?
formation?
You know what? I'm going to go.
I want to go.
I want to go.
I'm mad. I need to buy tickets now
Yeah.
if they got any left.
I know.
I know.
I wasn't going to go, but then I saw Lemonade and I was like, you need to understand.
She always gives a good concert. That's why I want to go. I want to go. So I want to go.
I want to go. So you guys make sure you continue to give us feedback on the show and what we're doing and what you love and don't like. You guys have been doing a great job with the comments on YouTube as well.
We appreciate
We
you.
appreciate you and have a great weekend.
Peace.
From executives Keven Undergaro, Derrial Christon, Tiana Hobson, and the entire BHL staff, we would like to thank you for supporting Black Hollywood Live, the first online broadcast network dedicated to African American entertainment. For questions and comments, contact us. info@blackhollywoodlive.com. Like us on Facebook, tweet us, or Instagram us at BHL Online. And I am the official voice of Black Hollywood Live, Scipio, Instagram at KingXOBay. Thanks for tuning in.
Hollywood Redefined.
The views expressed here are those of the host only and do not necessarily reflect the views of BHL or its owners or principals.